Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all our partner stations across the country and around the world. We are live on citinewsroom.com. My name is Hawah Iddrisu Mustapha, and this afternoon I'm here with
Kwaku, Aduamah, Ansah.
Coming up, inflation for April 2023 drops to 41.2%.
Month of April 2023, rate of inflation stood at 41.2% on a year-on-year basis. This 41.2% that was recorded for the month of April 2023 signifies a 3.8 percentage drop relative to the rate that was recorded.
Also coming up, Guinness Ghana accuses the Ghana Water Company Limited of bad faith in the disconnection of water supply to its Achimota site. Still ahead of the NDC presidential and parliamentary primaries this weekend. Today, we will explore the chances of all candidates vying for the Dom Kwabenya seat, a seat that is deemed as a stronghold of the governing party.
Even as an entrepreneur doing his own private business, he tries his best to try and sort these things out in his own small way.
Anything that happens within the constituency, being it funerals, being it any social gathering, Ali Klima Akugu is there.
They should vote number 3 as yeho.
And later, we tell you about the 3 top winners for this year's Citi FM and Citi TV's A Portrait of Mama promo.
But for Mama, I would have been a cripple by the roadside in the village, begging for alms. But I'm now a person with a disability who is gainfully employed.
All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is live on all affiliates across the 16 regions of the country. In the Western region, we are live on Premier FM 100.5 in Takoradi, Beach FM 105.5 also in Takoradi, Bono region, Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani, Ashanti region, Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi, Eastern region, Right FM 90.1 in Somenya, Volta region, we are live on Holy FM 98.5 in Aplau, Northern region, Dasuma FM 99.1 in Yendi, Upper East, Word FM 88.3 in Zwarungu, Upper West, we are live on Bogli Radio 88.6 in Wa.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for choosing us. Now, inflation has dropped to 41.2% for the month of April 2023. This represents a 3.8 percentage point decrease from the 45.0% recorded in March 2023. This was captured in the Consumer Price Index data released by the Ghana Statistical Service on Wednesday. Per the data, food inflation also stood at 48.7% and non-food inflation at 35.4%. Here is the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kwabena Enim, highlighting the impact of the main drivers on the increase in the overall inflation rate for April 2023.
In the month of April 2023, rate of inflation stood at 41.2% on a year-on-year basis. This 41.2% that was recorded for the month of April 2023 signifies a 3.8 percentage drop relative to the rate that was recorded for the month of March 2023, which stood at 45.0%. From a food and non-food perspective, we recorded a 13.3 percentage point difference, with food inflation for the month of April 2023, 48.7%, and non-food inflation for the month of April 2023, 35.4%. We have seen a much sharper drop from a non-food perspective, as non-food dropped by 5.2 percentage points between the rate that was recorded in March 2023 relative to the rate that is recorded for the month of For the month of March 2023, 40.6%, and April 2023, 35.4%. From a food perspective, we saw a relatively smaller drop between the month of March 2023 and April 2023, with a drop of about 2.1 percentage points. In the month of March 2023, food inflation stood at 50.8%, and April 2023, 48.7%.
That was the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobna Inim.
Now, the Trades Union Congress TUC says it is engaging organized labor to court their support in demanding the reinstatement of 3 of its local union executives who were dismissed by Sanon Asogli Power Limited. According to the TUC, the contracts of the workers were terminated because they joined a union called the Ghana Mine Workers Union, which is under the TUC. Dr. Hawah is the Secretary General of the TUC, and he says that the support by organized labor will help achieve their cause.
Management, and we ask them, our 3 colleagues, what have they done? The answer is that they have not done anything. And I want to repeat, they said they have not done anything, but they are sacking them because the company doesn't need their services. These are people who have worked between 6 and 10 years. Immediately after they were elected, all 3 of them were sacked. We are ready for everything. Everything is on the table. The entire organized labor will be involved in this because it touches on our fundamental rights as workers of Ghana, our constitutional rights, enshrined in the 1992 Constitution. We will never allow this to stand. We will not allow the president to rest until he acts on this matter, because he is the chief and he has to uphold the Constitution of this country. That is why we elected him. So if some Chinese investors come to Ghana to come and violate our laws enshrined in the Constitution of Ghana, we expect the president to act. If the president doesn't act, we will act.
Dr. Hawah is the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress TUC.
Now, caterers under the school feeding program say they have begun receiving some payment from the Secretariat to settle arrears owed them. The caterers have been on strike for 4 weeks over government failure to settle their 3 terms arrears. The caterers are also demanding an increase in feeding grant from the current 97 pesos. Although payment have begun, the caterers say they will not return to the kitchen until all members under the policy are paid. Now, moving on, the New Patriotic Party NPP has commenced the verification of constituency albums across the country ahead of the 2024 general elections. The verification exercise is aimed at ensuring all names on the constituency albums are genuine and meet the requirement of the party's constitution. The process follows a directive by the National Council of the party at its meeting held on April 3, 2023, as part of measures to ensure free, fair and transparent primaries. General Secretary of the NPP, Justin Kodia Frimpong, spoke to Citi News on the exercise.
Most at times when there is an election or a process leading to election of either party officers or selecting of our parliamentary candidate or presidential candidate, one critical issue that always arises is the voter register or the voter album. As it has been the mantra of the party that we intend to break the 8 by God willing 2024. Every activity that has the possibility of raising red flags or creating tension among the rank and file of the party should be avoided. So the National Party, in our wisdom, is submitting the album which we know the constituency and the region have copied back to them, for them to verify or authenticate the album that we have, so that at least we are on the same page. And the committee that has been set up to carry out this exercise is chaired by the Council of Elders, chairperson at the constituency. The constituency chairman is also part, the member of parliament, and all his or her representative, the constituency secretary, the constituency organizer, and the IT coordinator are part or are those who are to form the committee to undertake this exercise. And they have from today to May 26 to complete this exercise and submit their report to the region. Then the region also have about 3 weeks to work on it and submit it to national. But there is a caveat. The party has further directed that in as much as they are going to do verification, the committee on its own does not have power to amend or delete or add any names to the album. However, a verification document has been attached to the album for that exercise to be done.
That was the General Secretary of the governing New Patriotic Party, Justin Kodia Frimpong. Let's now move to the NDC, where the party says it will not postpone the upcoming primary scheduled for Saturday. Let's go over the phone lines and speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the party, that is Mustapha. Good afternoon to you, sir. Many thanks for joining us. Now, do you still stand by your position that you will not postpone the upcoming primaries on Saturday following the stance taken by a flag bearer hopeful, that is Dr. Kwabena Dufo?
Well, I think that I was speaking in relation to the administrative issues that have been raised. And I indicated that to the extent that we have the firm belief that the issues as contained in their letter to the largest extent have been addressed, particularly when the National Executive Committee of the party, the Elections Committee have discharged their responsibility as contained in the election guideline that an aspirant should be given a delegate's list, and we have done so. I believe that there was no need to postpone elections. However, we have received a notice of a summons where the aspirant in question is taken to put an injunction on the party, or the party's Congress. And so at this point in time, I believe that leadership will go into consultation, and then a firm decision will be taken as to whether or not we are going by my initial position or otherwise. But as it stands, we haven't firmed up a decision yet.
So when is the party looking at meeting to look into the concerns or the injunction which has been filed by a flag bearer hopeful?
Those processes are being done. We are considering anything that will mar or distract the process of the Congress very serious. And so leadership, the General Secretary of our party, is looking at those issues and the processes all together for us to get to the root of the issues and move forward.
Is it likely you are going to meet Dr. Kwabena Dufo to settle this issue with him?
I earlier on stated that it was within the right of candidates to, have their concerns addressed. And I've also hinted the readiness and the long-standing commitment of the General Secretary to ensuring that we have an election without conflict coming along, and that he has been seated to ensure that he deals with this issue. But you have a letter that has been written, and even before the General Secretary will have a look at the letter, the applicant is in court. What opportunity did you afford the General Secretary to review the issues? And so that is where we stand. We have never written off the fact that concerns of aspirants will be addressed. Those issues will be addressed. But where the issues are not accurate and are not factual, I believe that we should set the records very straight, that they have been given some substantial information. Delegate list was what is contained in the guideline of election. Same has been provided, about 1.5 months ago. They've been given, 80% of the album, which is supplementary to the exercise, about weeks ago. And so errors as may have been detected will be corrected by the Elections Committee and the Technical Committee involved. So they are not issues that cannot be ironed out. So we actually don't see the reason why the candidate is in court. But that is his right. And the party, the General Secretary, the National Chairman are more than willing to have the issues resolved so that we can progress.
So where does this leave your candidates or your aspirants who are busily campaigning across the country?
Come again.
I'm asking, where does, now per the injunction that has been filed, where does this leave your candidate or aspirants who are busily campaigning ahead of Saturday's primaries across the country?
Well, I believe that the candidate himself knows the consequences of this action. The fact that you will frustrate the feelings of party members, the fact that you will frustrate the party's preparedness into an election. He is also aware financial commitments, logistics that have been deployed. And so he knows the consequences of the act. And he knows how unhappy party members will be. And so let's look at how the issues go by the close of the day.
Should your aspirants keep campaigning?
They have to keep campaigning. They have to hold the momentum. They have to, in fact, increase the momentum. Because for us, we are prepared for elections on Saturday. Nothing should stop us. But like I said, if an injunction is being sought, we will try to resolve or to give a fair hearing. And like I earlier stated, the General Secretary has always maintained his commitment to ensure a transparent, free, and fair election. And that is why the processes that we have put in place have been followed to the letter. And so I really don't see, and the emphasis are mine, I really don't see the need for us to get to court at this time, except to say that someone is up to mischief more than addressing their concerns. Because if you write a letter and because you were in a meeting and timelines, as you say, were not given to you, means that you have not been addressed. You know, it's not here or there.
What message do you have for your delegates as it stands, whether you are going to the polls on Saturday or not?
That the fate of the success of our Congress depends on the action of Dr. Kwaku. And if there's anything, he should be blamed for it.
Why should Dr. Dufo be blamed? He raised issues with your register, and if he's not satisfied with an issue, the court is the best place.
Well, I'm saying that if the issues he raised, if he offered the General Secretary the opportunity, I'm sure that he would have addressed those issues. You didn't even offer the General Secretary of your party an opportunity to invite you or to meet you, and you are in court. Now the issues will be addressed in court. And if it affects the Congress, or if it affects the election, it will not be the fault of the party. It will be the fault of the aspirant who went to court. The issues are very simple. That have we complied with the regulation of the election, the guidelines of the election? The answer is yes. As far as the list of election is concerned, the register is concerned, there is that we should give every aspirant a delegates list. They have taken custody of that list in full about, 6 weeks ago. They have not raised any objection. The issue of the album is a supplementary issue. It does not form the substantive, matter of the register. So when we are taking a supplementary decision to further strengthen the transparency in terms of the credibility of the voting, should not be an issue that someone will feel that we are trying to twist hands in favor of a particular candidate. That in itself is unfair to the credibility of the National Executive Committee. And there's nothing like that. And so you can see that 3 days ago, we're in a meeting with the representative of the aspirant. As soon as they left the meeting, they issued a letter, refused to indicate in the letter that they were just in a meeting with the Elections Committee. Further to that, after you have issued a letter, within 8 hours, you are in court. What opportunity have you offered the party to react to your issues? Is it not fair that you give the party some time to peruse your complaints and then address them by giving you an invitation? So that is where we are.
Very well. Hopefully, by close of day, we'll get something from the NDC. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. That was a Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustapha Bande. Kwaku has more from the NDC from the Dom Kwabenya constituency.
Now, NDC parliamentary candidates in the Dom Kwabenya constituency are poised for victory in the upcoming polls on Saturday. 3 candidates are racing to lead the NDC in the constituency, a seat which has always been won by the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. Citi News' Akosia Otre has been exploring the chances of these candidates and has come through with this report.
Formed prior to the 2004 elections, after being carved out of the Den Abokobi Madina constituency, Dome Kwabenya, per data from the Electoral Commission, has the highest number of voters in the country with over 170,000 voters. It has been the stronghold of the NPP in the Greater Accra region. The NPP has won the parliamentary seat since the creation of the constituency. In the last parliamentary race, the incumbent Member of Parliament for the area, Sarah Aduamah, polled 75,000, representing 58.35% of the total votes. Faustina Alikli Makrugu of the NDC also polled 32,262. That represents 40.64%. While the NDC is breaking its back to win the 2024 general election, it also wants to win more parliamentary seats, including the strongholds of the NPP. So, the 3 candidates contesting the Dome Kwabenya seat on the ticket of the NDC are businessman and entrepreneur Israel Kwaku Mensah Susuli, Theophilus Edu Mensah, and the 2020 candidate Faustina Aliklim Akurogu, whose chances are high and must be given an opportunity to lead the party for the constituency.
Susuli can deliver this seat in Dome Kwabenya because he can do it.
You say he can do it. What can he do?
Last 4 years, he's had a new win, but he supports the constituency.
He did a lot.
CEC, even the former PC, Israel supports the former PC. The election, everything that we do in this constituency.
So now you are not supporting Eliclean again?
No. Because the former PC can never
do the work.
Israel contributed immensely towards that. Resources, and then himself graced the occasion. Reorganization, you would note that any serious party where they assault, who intends to win power in the next elections, start with the base. So the reorganization of the branches, he was there very solidly. He helped facilitate comrades who were struggling with their filing and dues. He did largely that, very well with that. Indeed, on election day, I missed one point. There was a group that contributed to the expenditure on election day. You will find that that's a very, very key aspect of every election. Election day activities. If you get that right, you get things right. He contributed. Indeed, he was one of the biggest donors to that, himself and a few friends of his.
We are okay with the MPP. They should stop taking the seats. The NDC will do better. And with our leader, JM, we know we'll do better. And Israel will help us to do better.
You support Israel?
Oh, sure.
Why?
Because he's the best man for the job. We know what he's done, even whilst he's not a PC. He's supporting us with health insurance. He's helping the constituency acquire the best for our welfare. What else do we need from such a person?
Israel Susuli, self-assured and bold, he believes he will emerge victorious in the election.
Because we are the largest constituency and all eyes on us, this is a constituency that's perceived to be for the ruling MPP. But Israel is saying today that Dome Kwabenya is a constituency to watch in the 2024 elections. If you see how we're conducting ourselves, even from 2019 when I entered this race, I contested in 2019, you see that there's a change that are coming. In 2019, I was known as a game changer. Today, he's the root of the grassroots. and we're working very hard with the grassroots to turn this story around. I never left them. After 2020 elections, we had other candidates who went to sleep. I've been with them through the reorganization phases. The reason you have our delegates saying all the things they're saying about Israel is the fact that even as an entrepreneur doing his own private business, he tries his best to try and sort these things out in his own small way. So they are seeing the will that it is there. That's why the people are thinking, no, let's give this guy the power to do more.
With all the support from the side of delegates for Asia Susuli, the only female in the contest, Aliklima Krugu, believes all allegations that she has not been present to support the party in her constituency are false.
Anything that happens within the constituency, being it funerals, being it constructing small bridges, being it any social gathering, Aliklima Krugu is there. Since we started the process, my message has been simple, that we need a tried and tested candidate. We need an experienced candidate and not an experimental candidate. And so, me being there before, I have the experience and I know almost everything within the Dome Kwabena, our problems and how to be able to solve them.
The third man in the race is Theophilus Mensah. He has also been speaking on his bid to be the parliamentary candidate for the constituency.
Yes, I have a lot of policies that I've put in place for the children, for the youth, for the elderly ones and the aged. Actually, I want to give the aged health screening at the comfort of their homes and also subsidize for their health care. Most of the youth are unemployed. There are a lot of graduates, polytechnic graduates and university graduates who are in the constituency who are unemployed. They should vote number 3, Asieho, because immediately they vote number 3, that calls for unity. And when there is unity in Dome Kwabena, definitely we can easily win the seats. If the delegates will buy into my message, definitely I'll carry the day.
The party executives in the constituency have their preferred candidates, but they still say they will work with anyone who wins the primaries.
I think that Dome Kwabena is the biggest and the largest constituency so far. We are doing our best to make sure that this time around we snag the seats from Aduamah and the MPP. So obviously we need to get a very good one, a very good candidate. We need to get one who can match either Aduamah or Michael Kwe Jr. And the delegates knows the best. And I believe they have listened to both aspirants. And now it's clear for them in their minds what they want, our roads especially. But who is to lobby for this type of thing? It is the member of parliament. And we have a member of parliament who don't go to parliament. So definitely we need somebody who will represent us, always be in parliament.
The constituency chairman also spoke on preparations for Saturday's election.
Election on Saturday at Atomic Park, close to the hospital, opposite the police station. In terms of security, everything is intact. We are going to have a very tight security because of 1 or 2 threats that we have gotten, the intel that we have gotten, so we have picked from the ground. So the security is going to be tight.
In Dome Kwabena constituency, 3,232 delegates will be going to the polls this Saturday to elect a candidate for the NDC for the 2024 general elections. Reporting for Citi News, Akosia Ochre, Dome Kwabena.
That was Akosia Ochre's report. Now, this is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. When we return, we have more from the NDC ahead of its presidential and parliamentary primaries this weekend. This time around, we take you to some of the constituencies where they do not have sitting members of parliament, plus we bring you a story where the Guinness Ghana Limited is accusing the Ghana Water Company of bad faith in the disconnection of water supply to its Achimota sites. Please don't go away.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Aduamah, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant, and she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Abba, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
The international football season has just reached fever pitch, and GoTV will be right there for it all. So get settled into your living room stadium because you are coming with us to the epic finales of the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Europa League, FA Cup, and more. All you have to do is get and stay connected to GoTV, where all the big games keep coming.
Points of world-class difference.
GoTV, love it.
No one stops that.
Listen up, people. There's good news for Airtel Tigo customers who haven't started and those who are yet to complete their SIM re-registration. Yes, good news. Complete your SIM re-registration and get free 5GB data falla to browse, chat, Zoom, TikTok, Snap, and do more on Airtel Tigo to change your world. If your SIM has been blocked, don't worry. You can have your number back and also get a whopping 5GB data as soon as you register with your Ghana card. Simply visit the nearest Airtel Tigo shop or agent today. Complete your SIM registration now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Let's still stay with the NDC, where 3 constituencies in the Greater Accra region will hold only NDC presidential primaries. Now, parliamentary primaries in these 3 constituencies will not take place because there are certain members of parliament have no contenders. Citi News' Philip Nilate has details in this report.
As some parliamentary candidate hopefuls in the Greater Accra region are battling competition to win the primaries on Saturday, May 13, others are in the race unopposed. The 3 are Medina, Okankwe North, and Ablekuma South constituencies. Theophilus Tetechai is the General Secretary of the NDC in the Greater Accra region.
Technically, we are doing 32 for now. And out of the 32, which gave us 125, we've been able to vet 122. That's excluding Ayawaso Westwood. Then out of the 122, we've disqualified 4 aspirants. 4 aspirants out of it. And then 3 of the constituencies went unopposed. That is Ablekuma South. Honorable Okovandapoy is going unopposed. Honorable Susu for Medina is also going unopposed. And then Honorable Teresa Awuni is also going unopposed.
In the Medina constituency, the race was between incumbent MP Francis Xavier Susu and Prince Moses Zakaria. Mr. Moses Zakaria was disqualified at the vetting stage, after which he declared to contest the Medina seat as an independent candidate in the 2024 elections.
I have served since 1998 and have officially been a member of it since 2013, has just thrown me out. And I am saying, if that is the case, because our elders have allowed Sosu and the constituency executives to undertake several machinations against me within Medina, I am declaring my independence candidature immediately. I will ensure that Sosu does not go back to Parliament. Inshallah.
But Francis Xavier Susu, who is not perturbed, says he has represented the people of Medina very well in Parliament.
The first 4 years, he tried, even though he won the vote at the primaries, he couldn't win the main election. The second 4 years, he won the main election. The third 4 years, the second 4 years when he won, were in opposition, like I am now. The third one, when he won, we were now in power. The fourth one, we're in power again. The last one was when he lost in 2016. And so when you compare the fact that we gave Sorogo 20 years as delegate in Medina, and you compare that to me, who is just a new entrant, and I've served them for just 2 years in Parliament, what would be the basis of even comparison in the first place? So I believe that when you do an objective comparison between Honorable Sorogo and myself, who is like the next NDC candidate, it just stands to reason that the delegates will give me more opportunity to prove what I'm able to do. Because within these last 2 years, in Parliament, I believe that I've represented their interests.
In the Ablekuma South constituency, the race was between Ni Amasakote and incumbent MP Dr. Alfred Okovandapoe. Mr. Amasakote exited from the contest after he was disqualified by the vetting committee. The absence of Ni Amasakote in the race means Dr. Alfred Okovandapoe is the parliamentary candidate for the Ablekuma South constituency.
The decision and the reason is that when the people elect their member of parliament, they elect you to contribute to the development of this country. So NDC is looking forward to coming back to power with John Dramani Mahama, our former president, as president of the Republic of Ghana. And Okovandapoe will have the opportunity to be, I believe, a member of the government of the NDC. And with the experience with which I worked for 8 years under the NDC administration, I will have the experience and what it takes to contribute meaningfully to the development of this country.
The situation is no different in the Okankwe North constituency because the Member of Parliament, Theresa Ladi Awuni, is facing no competition in the parliamentary primaries race. She says the decision by delegates to allow her for the second time lead the NDC in the constituency into the 2024 elections signifies the confidence they have in her.
The trust my people have reposed in me, it is a challenge they have given me. Other candidates are equally qualified to come. But these delegates around here sent a signal that they were not ready to go into any competition whatsoever. It is a challenge they have given me, that go in peace and deliver. And that is what I am assuring them, that we are coming to deliver Okankwe North and bring His Excellency John Dramani Mahama CAN 2020. Politics is about the people. There are people who go and canvass votes in the gutters, in the ghettos, and when they win, those people don't matter. I am still with my people regardless, because the lawyer has one vote, the ghetto guy has one vote, the police officer has one vote, the woman in the market has one vote. And so I give my people the attention that they deserve. I give the people the importance. I make them feel important, because without them I'm a nobody.
The report was put together by Citi News' Philip Nilate.
Let's do other stories now. And Guinness Ghana Breweries has accused the Ghana Water Company Limited of bad faith after it disconnected water supply to their Chimota site over a 6.7 million Ghana cedi debt. The company had earlier denied reports of any disconnection, but in a sharp U-turn, Guinness Ghana admits that its water supply has been cut, but without notice from the water company. In a statement cited by Citi News, Guinness Ghana explains that discussions were ongoing with the Ghana Water Company Limited, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC), and that of the Ministry of Sanitation, following what it describes as an arbitrary reclassification of the business in the September 2022 tariff adjustment. It says per the arbitration process, no disconnection was to be effected. Here are excerpts of that statement.
Guinness Ghana Breweries PLC can confirm that water supply from Ghana Water Company Limited to its Achimota site was abruptly cut yesterday, Tuesday, 9th May 2023, at 8 p.m. without notice to the company. However, we confirm our breweries continue operations. The disconnection was executed by a task force from the Ghana Water Company Limited, notwithstanding the resolutions agreed from a meeting on Tuesday, May 9, 2023, chaired by the Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources and attended by the Managing Director of Ghana Water Company Limited and the leadership of Guinness Ghana. The outcome of the meeting was to await the result of the PRC's investigations and to hold a tripartite meeting between GGB PLC, GWCL, and the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. During this period, no disconnection was to be effected. In view of these engagements, Guinness Ghana is dedicated to the process and is currently awaiting the final investigations and outcomes of its petition before the PRC on the matter. Guinness Ghana remains committed to doing business the right way and will continue to engage all stakeholders in pursuit of a just resolution. Despite the disconnection, Guinness Ghana operations and production have not halted. We continue to operate our brewery to serve the needs of our many loyal customers and consumers.
You heard the excerpts of a statement released by Guinness Ghana Breweries, read to you by City News' Caleb Kuda.
This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still ahead, we tell you about the top 3 winners for Citi FM and Citi TV's A Portrait of Mama promotion. We have details coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Sweet, sweet mothers, how could we ever forget you? This year, on Mother's Day, we plan to do quite the festive opposite. What better way to show out for our beloved matriarchs than an entire evening dedicated to celebrating the phenomenon that is motherhood. Mama's boys and mama's girls, for all their love and sacrifices, here comes the ultimate Mother's Day gift. Picture this, a flavorous Ghanaian spread with countless mouth-watering treats, just like Mama's cooking. A glitzy dance floor serenaded by Mama's favorite tunes just for Mama to boogie. And a stunningly intricate portrait of Mama just to remind Mama how truly beautiful she is. Join us on Sunday, the 14th of May 2023 at 4 p.m. for an enchanting evening of appreciation and enjoyment for our feminine support systems. The venue is at the City Gardens, number 5, Ola Hansen Lane, Tesano, and the rate is a cool 350 Ghana cedis. It's going to be an evening of Ghanaian food, dance, and the celebration of motherhood. So book now and secure a seat for Mama at the A Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner now. For more enquiries, call 020-5973-973. The A Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and is sponsored by Dano Milk and Tasty Tom and supported by the Juice Guy and Verve du Vernet.
Marrying the city's most beloved billionaire, she believed she had hit the jackpot and was on her way to live the soft life she always dreamt of. But that's when it gets darker.
And I'm not sure say your husband to go Hopi if you hear the filler way I get for your dog.
I still have your underwear in my office drawer.
Watch Aduamah as she navigates the glamorous and gloomy world of the rich and powerful in the all-new drama series, The Billionaire's Wife. The Billionaire's Wife, only on Showmax. Sign up at showmax.com.
The news cycle can sometimes be rather daunting. With an abundance of media houses publishing daily, where does one even begin? What the papers are saying is a one-stop shopping experience to knowing and understanding the most important news items that made the headlines. Catch the next episode of What the Papers Are Saying at 9 p.m. each Thursday, only on Citi TV.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, members of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum have picketed at the Finance Ministry for the third day to demand the payment of all outstanding coupons and principals on their bonds. Since Monday, the retirees have been gathering at the ministry from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day, hoping that their presence will put pressure on government to honor the about 19 coupons and 3 principals which are outstanding. For most of the pensioners, the delay in payment will not only affect them but also their dependents. Here are some of the retirees speaking to Citi News.
I brought my 2 cousins who are both mentally challenged. They depend on our family coupons to buy their medication. This is the 2 of them. We have traveled 2 hours to get here. For them to join these people who are our fellow Ghanaians to picket so that we can have our coupons. This lady's medication alone is over 2,000 cedis a month. Her lab tests, her medical appointments, her psychiatrist to visit her in the house. This lady also has to buy a lot of medication to keep her fit. Is this right? Who do we go to? Who's going to help us? They have been forced to get up early in the morning, drive in trotro in the heat to come here today. We got here even late. This is their carer, the lady I owe over 45,000 cedis, who has been sponsoring them because the cost of living has gone high. We want our coupons. It's very simple. It's very easy. Give us our money. We will never come. If you won't give us our coupon, give us our principals. We will do with it what we choose. It's our money. We worked for it. All of us here worked very hard, sweated and toiled. Give us our money. We shouldn't have to come here at this age. Why? You have no heart? Are we not human beings too? Why? What is our crime or our sin? Give us our money. Please, look at the elderly people sitting here. Is this beautiful? Tomorrow I'll bring the school children too. They want their school fees. They want their lolly fare.
All we want is for our monies to be paid. The finance minister promised to pay us our monies. That hasn't been done. You know, we are monitoring everything because we worked for Ghana, we worked hard. We worked on these same matters. There's no way any of our money can go and pay. They will not be able to track it. We worked for this nation. We've served this nation. It's time for us to get our money back. We are not asking for any social service. We are asking for our own money. Please convey to the finance minister the fact that he must keep his word and pay us our monies. It's simple. We wouldn't be here if he had kept his promise.
Those were some angry pensioners who picketed earlier today at the Finance Ministry.
Now, banking consultant Nana Otuo-Champon says the speedy operationalization of the Financial Stability Fund will provide temporary liquidity and solvency to banks in the country. This comes as the country's efforts to restructure its domestic and external debts resulted in some top banks recording losses. For instance, GCB Bank, the country's largest lender by assets, posted a 593.4 million Ghana cedis net loss for the year. Nana Otuo-Champon has been speaking to Citi News on this.
There will be some challenges in the terms of liquidity and solvency. But then the Bank of Ghana has established a Financial Stability Fund in which 3 billion is being pumped, and it will be available to any bank which temporarily faces a challenge in terms of liquidity, faces a challenge in terms of solvency, which is capital. So the future looks good as far as banking is concerned. Yes. Okay. So IMF, the governor of the central bank, has indicated that there's a high possibility of getting the sanction by the end of May. Now, for the other challenges, the fund of 8 billion, not all the banks will be resorting to that fund. So out of the 23 banks, 22 reported, and of the 22, 6 are showing positive results, i.e. profit, and it was the remainder that showed negative. Now, those who showed negative have already turned positive. So, any problem they had, only a temporary problem. That temporary problem is where they may result in the stability fund. But for some of them too, they don't even need to resort to the stability fund because it reverses itself. And once it reverses itself, then they are back to business as usual.
You heard then Nana Oto Echampong, who is a banking consultant.
President Akufo-Addo has charged a newly inaugurated board of the National Vaccine Institute with the crucial task of prioritizing Ghana's self-sufficiency and reducing the nation's reliance on external sources for critical vaccines. The board, chaired by head of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Dr. Anefi Asamoah, was sworn in during a ceremony held in Accra. In his address, the president emphasized the need for the institute to accelerate the country's capacity to manufacture its own vaccines.
Development of a roadmap for vaccine development and manufacturing in Ghana. B. Support of the upgrade of laboratory facilities of the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, to achieve WHO maturity level 4. C. International collaboration with Rwanda, Senegal, and the mRNA vaccine technology company BioNTech of Germany on a fill-finish project for COVID-19 vaccine. D. Establishment of local vaccine manufacturing plant by Atlantic Life Sciences, commissioned in April 2022, and the groundbreaking ceremony for the commencement of work of DEK Vaccines Limited, which I undertook a few weeks ago. And E, the setting up of the National Vaccine Institute and its secretariat. In the chairperson of the Board of Governance of the Institute, Dr. Anefi Asamoah, the renowned international public health specialist who rose to the position of Deputy Director General of WHO prior to his retirement, and in Noguchi's Professor William Ampofo, the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute, an eminent scientist, together with the other distinguished members of the board, who have been chosen from all sectors of the vaccine development spectrum. Dr. Bafo Evia.
You heard President Akufo-Addo.
Now, Amnesty International is blaming the government for failing to prosecute and sentence people who lynch others accused of witchcraft. This comment comes after 2 people were lynched at Zalpalsi in the Mion district of the Northern region over alleged witchcraft. The man was killed at his residence while the woman was lynched at the chief's palace where she tried to seek refuge. Speaking to Citi News, the board chair of Amnesty International, Francis Nyantechi, called on Parliament to ensure the passage of the witchcraft accusation bill to bring an end to these occurrences.
We at Amnesty International are very worried and we are very disappointed with this new development. We have hoped that the death of the president was going to set the pace for the nation to actually criminalize witchcraft accusation in this country. Unfortunately, despite the stride and the campaign by civil society organizations, it appears the government hasn't been serious in this regard. And so it becomes worrying that day in, day out, women are accused of witchcraft and they are lynched. And the state appears not to have any urgent steps in addressing this particular issue. You know, we campaigned vigorously for the perpetrators of the lynching of the president to be brought to book. Unfortunately, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, there hasn't been any closure to that issue. And so people are emboldened to do these things because they know that the state has been toothless in addressing these issues. I think that as a nation, we must embark on vigorous campaign on the need for people to attend to the witchcraft accusation bill before Parliament. The Ministry of Gender and Attorney General's Department have showed interest in it and ensure that we start it as early as possible.
Francis Nyantechi is the board chair of Amnesty International.
The Gansouth Municipal Assembly has constituted a committee to look into Tuesday's incident where a 3-story building under construction collapsed, leading to injuries of 7 persons who were working there. The incident occurred at Old Botiano. According to the municipal NADMO director, Christian Azedenyo, some of the injured persons have been discharged from the hospital after the incident. He indicated that the committee set up will look into the matter to find out the reasons for the collapse of the 3-story building in the area.
It's a setup to look at the cause of the collapsing. Also, the whole building, the cost we have spent, the cost of the whole structure from scratch to the up, they finished. Then also the document and then the permit document. These are the things that the MC asked the committee to look at and then present the report to the Assembly Coordinating Director. Yes, we are starting work tomorrow, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. We prompt because we have the judge people, they are also representatives, also is part of the committee. And then the engineer, they are also part. So, by means, we prompt them, and then we can have necessary information.
You had a NADMO coordinator for the Gansouth Municipal Assembly, Christian Azedenyo. Now, the top 3 winners of Citi TV and Citi FM's 2023 Mother's Day promotion dubbed A Portrait of Mama have officially been announced. The winners are Castro Kofi Apia, Park Kofi Hazel, and Etonam Fifa. The announcement was made on the Citi Breakfast Show ahead of the A Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner scheduled for Sunday, May 14. The top 3 were picked from the top 10, which was announced yesterday after a selection process conducted on hundreds of entries received from participants. A Portrait of Mama gave individuals an opportunity to tell the world what their mothers mean to them in a write-up of not less than 100 words, beginning with the phrase, "But for Mama." The top 3 winners will get free tickets for themselves and their mothers to the A Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner at the City Gardens at number 5 Owula Hansen Lane at Tesano in Accra. Here is Head of Programs Production, Apioko Seiram Ashong Abi, announcing the winners.
So it's not in any particular order.
They're just the top 3. But I thought you
out of the 10
special prizes.
No, so all top 3 receive the same
They're all
prize.
winning, so there's no winner.
So all of them, their mothers, and then the entrance, they have spots at the A Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner this Sunday, the 14th of May.
All right.
And then they get to do their, as you and Scott have been calling it, their staycation.
Yes.
At one of our prestigious or luxurious, as one may say.
But for Mama.
Yes, and you must identify in that note one sacrifice or one thing that Mama did change the course of your life.
Wonderful.
So, but for Mama and but for that thing she did, you will not be where you are today. You not have seen certain graces. You not have experienced certain things. Start with this one from Castro Kofi Apia, and his mother's name is Mami Adwa. But for Mama, I would have been a cripple by the roadside in the village, begging for alms. But I'm now a person with a disability who is gainfully employed. I would have been sitting in my mess, my urine, for more than 5 hours.
Oh.
But today I can clean the mess myself. Without your help, I wouldn't have seen a first-degree certificate in my lifetime. Still today, not only do I have a degree, but a certificate to show that I was the local secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students, NUGS. I lacked confidence due to my situation, and I didn't believe in my potential. But today, I move around with confidence because you told me that even if all of your children would fail, I wouldn't fail, although I have a physical impairment. God bless you, Mami Adwa Tameke. I love you, Mom. Pa Kofi Hazel. Mother's name is Mrs. Georgette Hazel. But for Mama, I wouldn't be here today with my 2 boys. She nurtured me and my 5 siblings. When my wife had a preterm birth, Mama was there for us throughout the traumatic experience. She was an advocate for my wife in the delivery room, making key decisions that ensured our baby's survival. With my second baby, my wife went into precipitated labor, leading her to deliver at home. My mother had to deliver our baby, even with no experience.
At home?
At home. Mama, you're a true heroine, and I'm grateful for everything you've done for my family. So we have our final winner in the top 3 list, and this is Etonam Vifa. Mama is called Miss Linda A. Domekbo. But for Mama, I'm not sure where I would have been. My father was violent and abusive, and my mama wanted a healthy and peaceful environment for me to grow up in. So she had to run for her life, and she wasn't going to leave me behind. Mama took to her heels, not sure what was out there for us. I was only 3 years old then. Today, I am 11 years old, and I attend one of the best international schools in Ghana. I've seen my mama make sacrifices so that I can be happy. Recently, we treated the family tree in school. I returned home and I asked, Mama, I've never seen you with any male friend. Her response made me sad. To think that Mama put her emotional life on hold just so that I don't have to see different men come and go, just in case the relationships don't work out, made me sad. But it also made me appreciate her more. I love Mama, and I respect and appreciate her. Mama is prayerful and works hard.
He had a head of programs production. He had Citi FM and Citi TV, a pure Corsaria Machon Abbey. Now, the portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and is sponsored by Dano Milk and Tasty Tom and supported by the Juice Guy and Verve du Vene. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Citi Prime News. Please log on to citinewsroom.com for more stories. My name is Hawah Iddrisu Mustapha.
And I am Kwaku Aduamah.
Netele Neti Ajaho is up next with the afternoon's edition of Citi Business News. Many thanks for your company.